I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Oh shoot, the review. Welcome to the Sunsinger. Hello everybody, I am SPC Brawlers, aka Brawlers, and welcome to my 4th Guardian review video in Destiny. You may call this a part 2 of my Warlock review from my previous video if you like. Or you can just call this a separate video, however you like. I'm just doing a double check right now, just like I did with the Defender video. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you go check out my Void Walker review before you continue with the Sunsinger review. If there are any Void Walker lovers out there, then the first Warlock video is for you. There will be an annotation on the screen and a link in the description. As of this video, we will be covering the Sunsinger subclass. So, let's get started. If any of you out there are eager with flames to get your hands on the Sunsinger, there are only one of 2 ways in order for you to use the Sunsinger class. Either 1, you have already started out with a Warlock and have reached level 15 with the Void Walker, or you have started with another Guardian and you have already unlocked level 15 on another subclass. The Sunsinger subclass utilize their powers to bring the heat to the battle. That's why they're called Sunsingers. Really? That was not funny at all, and what the heck was I thinking? Moving on. Unlike the Void Walkers, these Guardians are more focused and specialized in playing on the defensive and supporting other Guardians. Sunsingers can aid an entire team to hold their grounds and keep enemies from getting or attacking certain objectives. Not as strong as a Defender, but can bring a few unique flaming treats to the table. Trained under the influence of solar energy, the Sunsingers will always shine a light no matter how dark the battle can get. Just like the Void Walker skill tree, we have the Sunsinger skill tree. It's time to heat things up, so let's get started. Starting off new with the Sunsinger, the first perk you will be able to unlock is a solar grenade. This grenade creates a flare of solar light, which continuously damages enemies trapped inside. You may think of this as a vortex grenade from the Void Walker subclass, but instead of purple, it's orange. Just like the vortex grenade, this grenade will stay still upon detonation. And if you're wondering if this thing has any splash damage, it does. And it can harm you a little if you're too close to it. If you want to switch up your grenades, we have the Firebolt grenade. This grenade unleashes bolts of solar light at nearby enemies. So if you see a small crowd of enemies, just pop one of these nearby them and let the chain reaction flow. This grenade will detonate on impact, and a neat feature to this is if you stand nearby it, no splash damage will be given whatsoever. Now for the final and possibly my favorite grenade is the fusion grenade. This little sucker explodes and causes bonus damage when it gets stuck to any enemy you throw it at. You can think of this as a Semtex grenade. This little thing can roll, but mostly it sticks to your enemies, and just be careful if you're going to be throwing these things a lot. This grenade does give off splash damage and could possibly kill you. The more closer you are to this thing, the more deadlier it can be. If you stand at point blank range, it will kill you. So keep your distance when you throw the fusion grenades. Up next, we have the jump abilities. Just like the Void Walker, they are completely the same, except for one of them. Up versus Glide, which jump and glides you gently down to the ground. Focus Control, which is better directional control while in the air. Focus Burst, which provides you with an initial boost. But the key feature with the Sunsinger that the Void Walker does not have is Balanced Glide. This upgrades the Glide to have both speed and control, to have a nice balance of both. Now for my favorite piece of the review, we have the super abilities for the Sunsinger, which is none other than Radiance. Upon activating the super, you will fill your body with solar light and dramatically increase the effects of all your abilities, along with the ability to use your grenades and your melee abilities multiple times. If you allow someone to take a visual look at yourself while you have Radiance, you will notice that you will have these amazing flaming wings behind your back. This is the only super out of the 6 subclasses that you will have the appearance of a flaming angel. Interested in taking Radiance even further? First, we have Song of Flame, as Radiance reduces all cooldowns for your allies that are near you. If you have a well-coordinated team of either 3 to 6 Guardians, you will reduce all cooldowns for your allies that are near you. This also includes the supers. So upon activating this super ability, or the super perk as to be more specific, your allies will have a higher chance of using their super abilities as well. along with you using yours. So it's kind of a win-win situation. If you feel the need to protect yourself, we have Radiance skin. Radiance reduces incoming damage for a short time until the Radiance super dies out. And finally, and probably the most popular out of the 3 perks, we have Fireborn. This allows your solar abilities to go beyond the grave and resurrect yourself back to life. This is arguably the most useful perk out of the 3, which has helped multiple players in various situations. So I can arguably say that this is also one of my favorite ones from the Sunsinger. For our 4th set of perks, we have the melee abilities, which up first we have Scorch. Melee attacks will ignite your enemies, causing burning damage over time. As you smack your excuse me, jeez. As you smack your enemies with your melee attack, as long as the bar is in full capacity, your enemies will burn for a specific amount of time. Want to get a little interesting with your Scorch? First we have Flame Shield. Damaging an enemy with Scorch reduces incoming damage for a short time. As this happens, you will gain yourself an Overshield to protect yourself from oncoming fire for a little more than you normally would. Second, we have Solar Wind. Hitting an enemy with Scorch as long as the bar is full will knock them back. If you got a specific enemy bugging you and or your teammates, just simply get up to them with caution and just smack them with this. And third, we have Brimstone. Killing an enemy with Scorch causes them to explode. If you like watching your enemies explode in a drastic orange burst, then you're looking at the right perk. Now for the training abilities, which in fact, they are exactly the same as the Voidwalkers. We have Arcane Wisdom, which trains on battle recovery and speed. Arcane Spirit, that focuses on battle recovery and toughness. Arcane Force, which goes with toughness and speed. Ancestral Order, which focuses on all attributes. Chaos Order, which you will be training with raw speed. And finally, Divine Order, which all training will be focused on toughness at all costs. Now for the final perks on the list, we have the bonus abilities. Up first, we have Radiant Will. This increases the time of Radiance. If you love using Radiance, then this is a perk that you will be highly interested in. By default, without Radiant Will, and as you activate Radiance, you will last for 15 seconds with 4 grenades and 2 full melee charges. But with Radiant Will equipped, you will have 18 seconds, a 3-second increase, along with giving you an additional grenade to throw and an additional melee charge if you use the melee charge at the right time. Our second bonus ability, we have Viking Funeral. Enemies you ignite will burn longer and take more melee damage. Very useful if you're going to be using Scorch and Solar Wind. Jive these two together and you'll see what I mean. The third bonus ability is Sunburst. Killing an enemy with Scorch has a chance to generate orbs of light. Very useful if you're going to be wanting to be a team player to other guardians from your fire team. Just simply keep on meleeing your enemies and orbs of light will generate. The fourth ability is Touch of Flame. All of your grenades ignite enemies, causing damage over time. All in all, this is similar to overburning the enemies. You throw a grenade and they will still have the flaming burning effect within them. The fifth ability is Angel of Light, and probably one of my favorites. I take that back, my second favorite. Aiming your weapon while in the air will hold your position for a short time. A key feature if you really want to throw off your enemy as to thinking that you will be touching the ground, only to find out that you will hold your position for a short time in the air, and you will luckily finish off the enemy if you're fast enough. And finally, for my favorite bonus ability is Gift of the Sun. You will grant yourself an additional grenade. So instead of 1 grenade, you now have 2 grenades. Finishing off with the Sunsinger, you may most commonly find these guardians raining grenades on the enemies, hanging back to see if anyone has fallen, or supporting your team out one way or another. Knowing how to stand your ground against the enemies is amazing, but doing it in a creative and relentless flaming style makes the fight far more intense than normal. This question may sound redundant, but you might hear this a few times. And the simple question that I have said before and have already answered is, any weapon advices? Well, just only stick with 2 primary base type weapons. Any combinations of your desires is completely up to you. From personal experience, I tend to use pulse rifles and hand cannons. For specials and heavy weapons, however, I go with all sorts, mostly focusing on fusion rifles and light machine guns. Keep in mind that if you are using a Sunsinger or a Voidwalker, whatever loadout fits your style is the best one to partake in. No matter how heavy or how dark the fight might get for you and or your allies, as long as you're using a Sunsinger, your flaming light will never die out. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something new today. Hopefully you have some new ideas going on in your head. But most of all, I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you will join me in the next review, as the final Guardian of the 3 will be covered there. And it is known none other as the Hunter. So until then, this has been SPC Brawlers. Game on, gamers.